Grand Lake Health Systems proudly presents an NKTelco sports production of high school varsity boys soccer action. We're here at WAPAKONETA High School where the St. Mary's Rough Riders take on the WAPAKONETA Redskins. Tonight's game is sponsored by American Trim, First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Winners Quality Meats, NKTelco, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, the Minster Bank, Plygem, Precision Strip, Schreederman's Pharmacies, and New Knoxville Supply. Welcome to WAPAKONETA Western Buckeye League boys soccer action here. Mike Hearn and Dean Jackson, and an absolutely picture-perfect day for this matchup, Dean.
Well, they call this the Chamber of Commerce afternoon, and it's exactly that. We've got a St. Mary's team, a Memorial team that's looking for their first win. We got WAPAK that's played 3 games. Certainly there's going to be an advantage because they played more games. We can see a St. Mary's team that might still be struggling to find the right connection, maybe having trouble finding the right mix. But, you know, that's why you have early season games.
Good news for the Rough Riders, they've got Max Milkey, and he's pretty good. We'll talk about him throughout the course of this game. Take a look at our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game. First, for the visiting Rough Riders, it's about a lot of pressure. They want to play high pressure in the game, force WAPAKONETA to make some turnovers and make them make their possessions count. Number 2, speed of play. Rough Riders like to try to speed things up. They did it in a loss and a tie in their first 2 games. And this is probably the most important one, obviously finishing off those possessions and turning them into goals like they did last year in a 1-goal win over WAPAKONETA. Other side of the coin for the Redskins, efficient chances. Again, it's kind of the flip. It's not fancy. It's about being able to turn your possessions into points. They want to try to play smart and make the most of every possession that they have with the ball, and they should have a pretty good opportunity to win this game if they're able to do that.
Sounds like a team that wants to stay in its system.
Starting lineups in our opening kick coming up when we come back here to beautiful WAPAKONETA.
At Grand Lake Health, we offer urgent care services within Joint Township District Memorial Hospital. Upon arrival, each patient is greeted and healthcare professionals assess the level of care required. Urgent care services extend your access to quality health care, complete for non-life-threatening problems. Our state-of-the-art facility and host of diagnostic and treatment options allow you to receive the treatment you deserve in a timely and courteous way. Grand Lake Health Systems, the highest quality health care for you and your family.
American Trim's story started in 1951, and our long family legacy continues today. We are a 3rd-generation family-owned business with locations in Sydney and Wapak, and we're hiring for manufacturing positions on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd shifts. Part-time and full-time positions are available for entry-level and skilled individuals. Please apply at www.amtrim.com or in person. American Trim is a proud sponsor of high school sports and our communities. Come be part of our story.
Back here at Ryan Field in WAPAKONETA. Big thanks to Grand Lake Health Systems for being a part of our coverage and bringing you high school soccer action. Kickoff to the Western Buckeye League season against St. Mary's at 0-1-1. WAPAKONETA coming in at 2-1 off a 1-0 win on Monday against Jackson Center. As we take a look at our American Trim starting lineups for today for the visitors from St. Mary's, Andy Vogel, Spencer Trogman, Adam Tobin, Evan Menker, Justin Granite, Austin Hertenstein, one of the 3 captains for the Rough Riders, Andy Vogel and Max Milkey joining that group, along with Noah Francis, Kyle Steininger, Preston Wilson, and the goalkeeper in Corey Nelson, who comes in with 19 saves so far on the 19 campaign. The American Trim starting lineup for the WAPAKONETA Redskins. And coming off a big win, they'll be homeless for a while after this. They have 3 straight matches away from here, but Keaton Leinert, Caleb Place, Dylan Whitehead, Colin Lenhart, along with Gavin Ainsworth, Peyton DeBell, Graham Neer, Austin Schulte, Daniel Pretro, Braden Schlenker and the goalkeeper in Trey Ware. The starting lineup for WAPAKONETA, the senior in goal for Wapak. And Wapak comes off a lot of losses from last year. They lost 5 different players who had all Western Buckeye League honors, but they have had 6 straight years under their head coach with 10 or more wins, and they're looking to build on that again. Keith Rambin in his 7th year now, 71-27, but it has been what he has done against the Western Buckeye League that has been impressive at 38-10-6. And Dean, I kind of wonder though, you look at the wind right now, south-southwest at 14 miles an hour. It'll be towards the north to our left. It'll be interesting to see how that plays in the first half.
Well, it certainly is a very strong wind, and if you look at the middle of the field by the stripe on the very far side of the field, you can see that with the pole quite well.
They were just playing rock, paper, scissors between Braden Schlenker and Trey Ware. I don't know who won. It looked like they each shot rock every time. Is that what you go with?
Well, I was going to get back to the wind a little bit. The more I think about it, and to answer your question, yes. But as I think about the wind, I think it may not be so much that it's going to power shots, it's going to power goals. I think what it's going to do is it's going to give them more power than they want on their shot. So they're going to have to really work on accuracy, because that's really going to carry in this wind.
Rough Riders will kick off from right to left as the ball you see on the north side. Wapak in the Reds ready to go and get this one started. Middle of a brutal stretch really for both teams. They're both on the road for conference games in the next contest on September the 5th. It'll be Wapak who goes to Van Wert. St. Mary's goes to Ottawa, and they'll actually have to play the Titans on their practice field because Mother Nature has not helped them out. So Wapak waiting to get this one started. And the ball away, and here we go. And you can see it on the pitch too. One thing that is always my favorite about high school soccer is the bright shoe game. You're able to figure out where everybody is at any time.
Oh, of course. I was just even watching the JV game thinking the exact same thing.
There's the quick passing lanes. We talked about the keys of this game, about being smart for Wapak and being able to have efficient possessions. They've got 2 quick possessions here so far, but St. Mary's has been able to stop them as Noah Francis, the senior, shoots one away. That quick stop now, Spencer Troglin could be the Rough Riders field goal kicker on Friday nights. He's in a battle with Henry Spencer right now. St. Mary's will kick off on turf tomorrow when they go to Sydney. See how that competition plays out, but a terrific soccer player as well. As St. Mary's now with their first real offensive opportunity, and a lot of low-line drives. The wind hasn't played a factor yet.
Mike, have you, as you watch Wapak, does it seem like they're coming out a little bit faster than they want to?
Maybe a little bit as if they're pressing a little too much, trying to get something started, make St. Mary's make that mistake. And they'll work from back to front through the first minute and change.
You know, there's a lot of soccer to play, so there's no hurry unless there's an opportunity that presents itself.
Well, I often have said this, and I said it, we had St. Mary's the girls in a game you can find on our NKTelco Sports Facebook page with Coldwater, and it was kind of the same thing. I always say the first 10 minutes is the most fascinating to me about which team kind of dictates what they want to do early on. So Rough Riders will have to play back to Corey Nelson. 19 saves on the year, just 2 goals through the first 2 games for St. Mary's. A 4-1 loss on a handball there.
It's interesting to see, of course, the St. Mary's goaltender picked it up, or I'm sorry, didn't pick it up, just kicked it out. It's interesting the choices that they make, because what happened was they kicked it back into the Wapak attack. And I maybe wouldn't have done that.
Always a big chance, too. And, you know, this is a little different because I walked across and it's very soft grass right now. What rain there has been really hasn't been a factor here. It's kind of hard back towards the goals where it's torn up on the offensive side for Wapak, but it's not like the turf where every bounce is going to magnify itself. Wapak with a nice steal away and a boot downfield from Peyton DeBell. Trying to turn it into something. Wapak's trying to stay on side. That was nearly a disaster as Caleb Place has it kicked across the touchline.
Again, I think that possession got away from Wapak a bit.
Austin Schulte with the throw in. You can hear the wind in the background. There's a throw right back towards the goal and bounces. Good recognition by Nelson to realize he was going to have to get that one. Big boot from him, and there the wind going that way. Out on the run are the Rough Riders and Adam Tobin. Now the junior out towards the back line with a 1-on-4. Tries to foot it up into the box. He's going to try to keep it himself. The first opportunity for the shot misses off to the right side for St. Mary's. That came off the foot of Kyle Steininger, the sophomore.
That really set up like, okay, I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to drive it in.
Sometimes it's not a bad idea. What's that, best laid plans and all that?
Yes, exactly. You know, change the rhythm, kind of catch them off guard a little bit. A lot of things can happen.
Throw in here for St. Mary's. First 4 minutes coming up, gone here in Wapak. And again, I marvel about the fact that if you could see from where we sit at, it is just bright blue skies. The wind is a little high. It's about 80 degrees, but you can't ask for a better day near the end of August.
You know, Wapak, I don't care what sport it is, what event it is, always one of my favorite places to come to, and I'll say it flat out.
It's much better than when I was here for this matchup 2 years ago, and it rained the whole time. That was not fun. Trying to pick out players as St. Mary's stays on the attack. They work back towards the middle, trying to set something up and make Wapak make a mistake. Steininger, again, kind of the focal point of that, is there's a mistake back the other way. About efficient possessions and a ball just behind Caleb Place as he turns and shoots one off to the right side.
Again, that's a nice steal, but until they get the reinforcements there, you kind of have to slow it down.
Braden Schlenker watches it roll across the line, and that's what you talked about. The Rough Riders try to work out of that kind of that triangle set on the opposite side. They'll set one up ahead, and it'll roll all the way to the goalkeeper in Trey Ware. It's got to be about the warmest guy right now, black and white from head to toe. It's not as bad as about a month ago, but it's still got to be a little bit warm. Rough Riders with another throw in, coming 5+ minutes into this one. Still no score. St. Mary's again was able to pick up a win last year in this meeting. So they took a 3-2 win. Go back and you look at Wapak last year, 11-6 and 6-3 as they shot right to Ware again. So the first real shot towards the goal now for the Rough Riders, and they've become kind of the flip of what you said early on. They've become a little bit of the aggressor in the last couple of minutes.
Nice, slow movement, trying to get things started.
Kind of work out from the center. And I said it before, kind of different with soccer where you can go back to work forward. Or really that, and I would say probably hockey, about the only two times you can do that with a choice to go back into your own zone. As he shove, you see right here. Now the free kick, and Grannon with the second foul on the Rough Riders.
With just under 7 minutes into the game, I'm really liking the cat and mouse that we've seen just develop over the last minute or so.
And Lenhart with a nice sideways ball out towards the front of the St. Mary's box. Rough Riders able to initially head it away, but there you go. They're just talking about efficiency. Wapak was able to put a guy right on top of it as he continues to fight Dylan Whitehead, the smallest player in that group, has it taken away from him. Ainsworth trying to give chase down into the Rough Rider corner with Spencer Troglin. Troglin now on the box out, works right in front of the official. See what he does with this. That's good defense initially, and he got called for that hook.
You're absolutely right. These are two teams that are really fighting for the ball.
And he's going to get a talking to. That didn't take long.
Yellow card. And he'll come out.
So the card comes at 32:57, and it's not what St. Mary's would like to have. So he didn't like the fact that he got assessed a foul for that elbow. That's now 3 fouls against the Rough Riders, and there's aggressive play, and he was trying to get out of that corner, but he just went a little bit far.
And there seems to be a bit of a discussion in he and the coaching staff, so he's going to have to take a seat and just kind of calm down, because I still think he's getting a lot of fire in his belly right now.
Joey Vanderhorst, the sophomore, in for the Rough Riders. Josh Hertenstein, by the way, in his second year, 12-6-3, coming off a 12-5-2 year, but it was rough sledding in the Western Buckeye League, where both teams finished in the middle of the pack and lost to eventual champion Kenton, a place that both will visit here before long. And it's not a place you want to not be playing well when you go there. It's a long ball just outside the box, footed back into play for Corey Nelson. And again, the Rough Riders work down that opposite sideline. So they try to turn one up on the box, missed on the header and right. A perfect bounce of how that worked out.
And you know what? If he would have waited, that could have been disaster. Absolutely perfection in terms of anticipation.
Max Milkey would have had another goal. He came out with 11 a year ago, and he's got one so far this year. It's now Caleb Place down into the corner, just foots one through. And the quick shot, Wapak's first real shot. That had some air on it.
I think he probably would have liked that back, get a little more distribution, but you take what you can get.
Tell you what, though, St. Mary's is doing a good job on balls that their goalkeeper puts in play across the midfield stripe of figuring out where to be underneath it. As he loft across, Adam Tobin sets it back up. Rough Riders have got an opportunity here. And goodbye.
I really like the cross, and I like the way they came back after the rebound.
Rough Riders will make a substitution to bring in Charlie Krebs, the junior, for the first time. He's going to be easy to figure out. Bright blonde hair, just waving in the wind. Wapak's subset will bring Aiden Schneider into the game.
I heard a friend refer to that type of blonde hair today as corn silk.
I could see that, actually. That's a good one.
I about fell off my seat when he said that.
That's a very astute observation. First 10 minutes coming up gone here in this game. And again, I said both teams trying to figure out how they want this game to be played at their pace. Each have had probably about half of the first 10 minutes where it's gone their way. Rough Riders now with the lead taken away, at least momentarily, by Peyton DeBell. And here you go. There's the young man with the corn silk hair. Right back to him. Seems to be a magnet. Maybe that's the secret if you're Charlie. He is fighting his way right with the ball.
You think he's got a magnet to the ball, or the ball is pulling him to it?
So far, it's worked out that way. This ball shot right straight down the line. It's like a perfect bounce for Daniel Prito. Pretty obvious foul.
Mike, I'll tell you right now, as we played about 10 minutes into this contest, it really seems to be the game that the Rough Riders want to be playing. Wapak still trying to find their movement, but we're seeing a lot of action in front of the box.
Vogel, the two-year captain, put that one in play, but there's a missed opportunity for the Rough Riders and a great clearance out of the box by Wapak.
And that was nothing more than just getting it out of harm's way.
Sometimes when you think you've done that, it comes right back to you. There's the rubber band now down to the corner. Lead right in front of the left foot off the post. It hit the post and hit in front of the keeper. Fifth shot, second on goal for the Rough Riders, but man, talk about robbery.
Oh my gosh, and it's set up so dangerously, it was almost dead on.
Adam Tobin is going to file a report before he leaves Wapak.
Highway robbery on this Thursday night.
All down into the corner. I don't know if we get a good look at it to show you the replay, but it was, I could hear it, and I sit halfway across the facility here from how hard that ball hit. You get a look at the winner's quality meets replay. Watch where this bounces at. The keeper's in a good spot. He knows he's going to have to go high, and if that ball right there, if it had even curved in, and you can see the reaction from Tobin, he didn't even get a chance, as hard as that was hit, to put it back in. Wow.
I mean, literally, a few inches here, a few inches there, that's cliche. But literally, if it would have just hit the post in the right spot, it still would have dropped in.
How's that go? He kicks one different panel on the ball, and it probably goes in. But his reaction is the most fascinating part of that. If I work that hard, there's a ball just shot through for the Rough Riders again. It's just long. Everything's coming off their foot long right now of where they intend for it to go. Another big chip shot as they try to set up. Nice little ball off the middle of the foot by Vanderhorst. And I don't know how these balls are staying in, to be honest with you. It must just be the way that the wind is bending them when they get up there. Here comes St. Mary's on another shoot through. They try to work down in front to Max Milkey, and if you've got Max Milkey on your team, that's a pretty good reason you're going to try to get to him. Good chance he could have a lot of Rough Rider records before he graduates. Trying to set something up for him, lifts it down into the corner. You see the band as he's knocked to the ground. One of the 3 captains for his team. Free kick here for the Rough Riders. Subs are going to come up in a minute. Menker. Let's see. Riders put a foot into one. Bounce right back out. There's Menker. On the opposite side, it was Andy Vogel who put it in play. Turn and shot. Talk about brutalization of the way that shot works out. You have to make that save almost twice if you're Trey Ware. Trey was a little surprised by how that bounced off what I said at the time was soft grass. A couple of guys fighting just to get it out. Ball shot down long, 1-on-4. Out comes the keeper to slide one away. But it comes right back to Connor Coffey. Coffey kind of caught it, and he didn't really have an idea as a freshman about where he should go with it. Didn't have numbers and wasn't able to get going there as Wapak will make a pair of substitutions. Rough Riders bring in Andrew Ibrahim. Wapak brings back in Colin Lenhart and Graham Kinnear. So again, first 15 minutes now. Ready to come up off the board and no score. Not without lack of trying, unofficially, super unofficially. Wapak has 1 shot on goal. St. Mary's has 3 shots on goal and 7 shots.
Now, you can argue some of those one way or the other, but that's pretty accurate.
Well, and again, it's kind of similar to baseball scoring. Give 10 people a book and see what they do.
Right.
It's kind of hard to ascertain exactly what one person or the other might think is a shot. So Wapak with their second foul. St. Mary's has been held to 3 of them, and 1 of them is a card. That's a big problem for them. Go back and you think about 7 minutes ago right now, Spencer Troglin got one where he got called for a foul and then had some things to say. Asked the official if he had seen any of the new movies that were out, and he promptly replied, no, please go sit down.
I'm sure that was the conversation.
I would think so. He asked him if he had seen Hobbs and Shaw yet, and he was angry when he told him no. So now the Rough Riders back from right to left in front of us with Austin Hertenstein. Right on cue.
I heard he
comes, and you could also describe him as the platinum blonde corn silk.
Yes. I heard that he spoiled the plot of one of the movies that he hadn't seen.
That's probably it. This ball kicked down near the corner. I believe this cleared to see which way they go. It should be a throw-in. St. Mary's going to get a corner kick here. No, they'll give him initially. No, the official signaled throw-in. Curious to see where that was going to go, where they decided on that throw-in. So Riders will throw it in here at 23:59. So put it right back into play on the turn. Just kind of a disaster with too many guys up there. I think probably go figure out he spoiled the ending to Titanic.
Hey,
has anybody seen that yet?
No, it sinks.
Off the middle of the foot, and again, great defense by Wapak. 2 guys right in front of the box. Should have been an opportunity if that ball turns for Tobin to kick one in. A great defense by, I believe, Christian Mallory.
And it seems like we have been on the St. Mary's offensive side at least for the last 5 minutes.
I'd say even a little more, closer to 10.
You know me, I play conservative.
It is. Yeah, you're right, though. It has definitely been that way.
And that doesn't bode well because, you know, you've got to change. If you keep the ball, I mean, it's basic common sense. You keep the ball on one side long enough, you know, you're going to have a lot more opportunities.
It's the Kobe Bryant theory. You shoot enough jumpers, eventually one goes in.
Right. You know, could be 100, but it'll.
You just need one. And this is the kind of game as Gavin Leininger sends one back into the box for the Rough Riders. Long kick, high and no good to the right side. That was off the boot of Joey Vanderhorst. But it's kind of, you're right, it's one of those things where, you know, try and try again, but this game could very well end 1-0. It's that kind of game.
And it kind of clogs up the offensive side. It kind of creates some different sets. It really sets up interesting if you've got it on that side a lot.
Tobin misses left, and he had the opportunity because the keeper and Trey Ware fell down. He slipped on his way to his right.
Would you say that he has been fortunate? Not going to say lucky, but he's been fortunate this far?
A little bit. Grant Hackworth in it for Wapak. Again, their keys, it was about playing fast and playing smart, making your possessions count. They haven't had really, like Dean said about a minute ago, they haven't been deep into St. Mary's territory in quite a while. Rough Riders have had the way that the ball has hung up. Was it back heel to no one. Those look good, though. I wish I could do that. This ball headed back by the Rough Riders through the front of the box. Speedy is Dylan Whitehead. Whitehead now works down that sideline. Tried to cross one up over to Colin Lenhart. But just too many Rough Riders there and too many white jerseys.
How about the St. Mary's defenders? They have really swept anything away from really being a challenge.
Yeah, they have been able to quickly turn that into an offensive opportunity. Charlie Krebs again had a big impact when he came in the first time. Ball taken away from Ibrahim. 3-on-1, and down goes Frazier.
I knew that was coming.
Kyle Steininger with the foul and the shove. Kind of got caught in between a couple of his own guys and on the shove. It's not going to work out. So their long ball, that's the deepest right there the Wapak has been in a while. So they'll get this throw in coming at 20-30 after a pair of substitutions. Rough Riders will counter with a pair of their own, and we're starting to get to that point where guys are definitely, and you talk about the defenders, but the midfielders, chasing things back and forth for Wapak. Maybe get them a breath here and there. It's Cole Rosengarten in for the throw-in for the first time. See his bright shoes. He also is faring well in the shoe game. Riders with another ball that pretty much any 50-50 balls, I would call it, is going their way.
I really like Dylan Whitehead's shoes the best because they look like they're just long socks.
That, with being a shorter player, he just flies by.
See, he's wearing boots.
That bright blur. The bright, I would call it highlighter. That's in fashion this year. There's usually a lot of blues and oranges as well. I saw a couple during the starting lineups. Rough Riders make a mistake. That was going to be something they were going to be able to work on. Just too far from Grannon as he sent that out into midfield. Big thanks to Grand Lake Health Systems for helping us bring you high school soccer today as the clock sits at all zeros. 19 minutes to go here at Ryan Field in the first half.
Now, Mike, from your soccer days, your shoes were chartreuse, right?
I was lucky that I had soccer cleats. They were the most basic thing. My mom looked at me and said, "Are you really going to stick with this?" I said, "I don't know, maybe." All right, well, we're not spending hundreds of dollars on cleats then. Almost a handball by the Rough Riders. Hey, you know, and that's that weird thing. That's the Mike Hearn thing. Reach out and just slap it down. Not allowed to do that. This ball kicked across, and I would imagine this is not a thing. If you could see this, you'd understand. Dean's got bigger feet. I would imagine it would be bigger, or it'd be harder to find those bigger sizes and those bright colors.
Yeah, my feet are really, really big. I'm surprised you've noticed, but it's pretty easy to notice.
You stepped on my foot, I think is what it was. But it is always fascinating to be able to see how kids express themselves. It's like Players Weekend for Major League Baseball, but it's actually effective. 18 minutes in, the first time the ball has hit the front of the goal box for Wapak in quite some time. Again, probably about 10 real minutes.
Now, personally for me, I don't try to draw attention to myself because most of the time I'm drawing attention already for doing something dumb, so I don't need anything more to.
Long lead for the Riders in their first possession. That ball took an awkward spin. I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. The hardest thing to do is to try to kick a ball forward that's spinning sideways.
And Rosengarten comes in there and just saves the day.
Tobin tried to turn on one with the left foot. That's not going to work. Rolls away. And another disastrous potential for Wapak is staved off. 17-15 in the first half, and Wapak, as I look at it, has been outshot so far 8-1. But again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Just tells you how aggressive St. Mary's was early on. They are still without the services of Spencer Trocklin, as he was issued a card earlier on. Adam Tobin has been a majority of the focus point on the offensive end. It's a long ball shot back into the defensive end with Preston Wilson, the junior, giving it to his goalkeeper. And the Rough Riders back trying to take it away. Wapak with a little bit of bump and on the foul. Free kick on the third foul for Wapak. Rough Riders trying to utilize the wind from straight away with Andy Vogel. Good leg on him. He's got one of their 2 goals this year. They'll just loft one up to the right side of the box, headed back. You kind of, do you agree with that, or maybe go with him being the shooter?
I'm not sure. I didn't like the way that set up. That could have been done a lot better. You don't get many chances to run a set play in soccer, or certainly not nearly enough, and I don't think they really executed it the way they wanted to.
Again, that was one of the big keys, was about making the most of opportunities on both sides in this game, as Vogel sends one back toward the box, and the mistake kicked away. Good recognition for Rosengarten to realize that he wasn't going to be able to do anything with it, but just get it away. On the turn, nearly the ankle for Leininger. Those ones make me worry. That's one of those, if it's on turf, it's probably a much more dangerous thing. Rough Riders again try to set one up front, but a kick across the line. A throw-in gives us an opportunity to say thank you to our sponsors for today's game. Grand Lake Health System, a big part of what we do, along with American Trim and the First National Bank. Winners Meats, our replay sponsor, along with NKTelco. Frost Roofing at Hometown Opportunity, along with the Minster Bank. Clyde Gem, Precision Strip, Schwederman's Pharmacy, and New Knoxville Supply. Our replay is brought to you by Winners Meats, our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game, and our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank reminds you to think first. But right now in this contest, if you think first, there's not probably a good ending. Everybody has just taken shots and tried to make the most of it.
I think maybe the better statement is to anticipate, trust your teammates, let the system develop.
So a throw in for the Redskins. So they've been able again to slow St. Mary's down. Josh Herdenstein in his second year kind of has tried to change a handful of things. Sectional title a year ago. So he didn't really know what to expect when he took this on. But he loses Ethan Rose a year ago, 17 goals, 10 assists, and a first-team WBL selection. But this team is kind of trying to learn as they go right now. Big, fast kids for both sides, and a lot of physical play.
Yeah, that is for sure. I was getting ready to say we haven't had a lot of quality shots, but we've had plenty of aggression, plenty of fighting for the ball.
It's kind of similar to what will happen just up the road at Harmon Field in about 8 days. Going to be a lot of the same and some of the same kids. There's also one thing that you can be sure of. Doesn't matter which way you go, which sport it is, one side or the other is going to end up very unhappy. Either the folks in the red and white or the folks in the white and blue. Vogel tried to turn on it. Ultimately had to try to just knock one away to keep it in play for a teammate. The ball back across midfield. First time in 5 minutes for Wapak. It's not really the greatest clear there for Nelson. Said earlier on you would like to see maybe him become a bigger part of the passing game of where he's able to spot his leads. That one didn't go where he would like.
You know, I'm having trouble really finding a theme for this first half, other than St. Mary's has, you know, had some opportunities. They didn't convert. They played good defense. You know, and I would say Wapak has played very good defense as well. I just would say that Wapak hasn't had the shot opportunities. Certainly we've seen that. And certainly you don't get those opportunities again if you're not near the goal to shoot them.
Unless you've got a very long leg. Caleb Place into the WAPAKONETA lineup. Cole Rosengarten will look to key one in. He threw a bullet right to Graham Kinnear.
Yeah, nice
Hit him right in the midsection. I know this because he was 10 yards in front of me and I heard it. Looked away for a split second and thought, that's unfortunate. Who was that kid? Long line drive.
That was hard enough that it could have left a bruise for sure.
I bet it did. Steininger able to play it for St. Mary's. Wapak doesn't seem to know what they want to do right now.
I would say that's an accurate assessment.
Just a little bit of confusion on that play. The worst part about it is if you're the guy with the ball, you know, you really can't move. You're trying to set something up like a point guard. There's nobody there. It's Rough Riders with the shove. 5 fouls for St. Mary's and 3 so far for Wapak. All just in front of the crowd. One way that this place is set up, it's a little bit different than a lot of high schools that play on turf or play at their high school football field. The fans are almost right on top of you, the way you sit here. It provides for, I've always thought, a really nice atmosphere. You said it earlier on about coming here and being a part of that.
Well, that's true for any event that's here, but absolutely, soccer's always fantastic to watch here.
Tell you what, that ball had a heck of a curve. Somewhere along the line, they figured out that it went across the touchline, but that one was up there for a while as we come on. 10 minutes now, still no score here in the first half.
Yeah, it looks like the wind has shifted somewhat as it's coming in from the northwest a bit.
And there's a lot of different flags in a lot of different places. It was out of the southwest at 14 when we started. Still about 80 degrees. They played a half of JV before this one got started. WAPAKONETA doesn't have the numbers that St. Mary's does in terms of overall players in their program. Which is a shame too, because Wapak's been obviously a solid program for a number of years now. They've only had 1 year in the last 8 that they had not picked up 10 wins. Long run for Justin Grannon. I almost called him Jacob. You do enough of the same schools for years, you get used to saying a specific set of names. And it's Jay Grannon. Justin with a big leg though, 2 at 9.5. Now weaving his way through traffic on that lead was Max Milkey. Rough Riders have had just that one real big opportunity where they got robbed off the post early on.
They also had the one where it was the goaltender was out for just a fraction of a second. And I wouldn't say that was a great scoring opportunity, but it was an opportunity. And I believe that was Rosengarten that came in and swept it away in no time flat.
Yeah, he just has been able to get on a couple of them. St. Mary's with the Wapak rather with a substitution in Lenhart. As the throw-in comes from Herdenstein. Wow, he put a shoulder into that one. He almost fell over trying to throw that one in. Right back to him, 2 red jerseys, take it away. Vogel went and whiffed at one. Out in no man's land again. And this right here kind of has been the story through this just inside of midfield where St. Mary's has taken it away. tried the header is St. Mary's Gavin Engel. And again, a lot of contact in the box. Back towards midfield now. St. Mary's on the run, trying to set something up, and you got the feeling, I said earlier on, I feel like this could easily end in a 1-0 game, but it's just how do you get from here to there? For St. Mary's, you take a lot of shots. That one right into the belly of the keeper from Evan Menker. 11 shots for the Rough Riders, 4 on goal here in the first half.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they tuned up the intensity in the second half.
I can tell you, though, that the Rough Rider varsity bunch wants a lot of goals because they were talking in the last 2 minutes of the JV game where it was 0-0 in their one half of play. They were yelling at the coaches about what they should be calling, and he jokingly said, maybe I should just put the varsity in there for a couple of minutes and see what they do. They seem ready to go. They were all for it. The shot we were just talking about, the possible, a lot of people thought a handball you see here on the Winners Quality Meets replay. See it play through. Just for a split second there. It's really hard to tell. I couldn't tell the first time around. But you still get a look at it from the truck. The Scott E. back there directing things. 6.5 minutes left in the first half.
I'm writing these down to know what things to get under Scott's nerves for. In addition to just the typical performance I give.
What you don't hear is every time that I say something he disapproves of, I get him in my ear. He's been quiet today, thankfully. So that ball, there you go. There's the little things we talked about, Dean, committing to not making really the simplest mistakes on balls that you can make something out of. Just a little too much foot into it.
I wouldn't say that either one of these teams has really made any glaring mistakes. It just, you know,
it's if you were watching it, though, it's the little nitpicky things that coaches would pick up.
Sure.
So they finally figured out how to slow down Charlie Krebs, make a substitution. He had dragged the foot across and was ready to go. And they told him, hey, you're going to need to wait here for just 1 second. Brought in a couple of teammates, including Gavin Engel, who wasn't out for very long. He had really the last big opportunity for the Rough Riders. And again, to go back to this at the 27-plus minute mark, or sorry, the 32-minute mark, it was Spencer Troglin who got a card for the Rough Riders, and I haven't seen him since. So ball across back towards the buses, and a corner kick coming up. So actually be the Rough Riders' first corner kick. They nearly had one a little bit ago on this end, but a ball that was just sent back towards the concession stand was deemed that it went out just across the corner of the touchline, more than across the goal line. 4.5 minutes, ball bent up towards, big header, goodbye. I don't even know how you get that high for Austin Hertenstein. You can see from where I sit at, all I saw was him doing the Jumpman logo all the way through the box. Tall kid, too. Low line drive right back to St. Mary's. Adam Tobin in the box against two guys. Another corner kick coming up for the Rough Riders. So here we go. We go back and watch this first half at about 30 minutes. You talked about you continue to get these opportunities. You eventually would think, if you're St. Mary's, you're going to be able to make one of them count. The ball held up in the wind. It'll come basically right back to where it started. No defender out there. And a ball into the box. Great recognition by Trey Ware to go up and get that one.
Michael, that may have been their best scoring opportunity yet today.
Yeah, two of them off that corner kick now. In a flash comes a Caleb Place. But as they have done, St. Mary's knocks it away and the cowbells ring out.
More cowbell.
I think if you need more cowbell, you should travel to Sydney tomorrow night. There will be a lot of big cowbells at 30-0 Field. 3:11 to go in the first half. Still no score despite a heavy advantage in shots for the Rough Riders. The halftime is imminent. Interesting to see if this stays 0-0 into the halftime break, how each team comes out in the first, let's say, 5 minutes of the second half when they flip ends of the field. Wapak will obviously get that wind advantage as they'll be shooting towards the north. But it'll be fascinating to me to see exactly how St. Mary's will respond to that.
It's almost as if the St. Mary's defense really hasn't been tested at all today. It's just simply been, we come in, we sweep it away, come at us again the few times they have.
Rinse and repeat.
Right.
Bernstein with the lob hit off the back of a Wapak defender on the turn.
Wow.
Save with the foot.
What
It says, how do you like me now?
In hockey, that would be called the skate save.
Kick save and a beauty. And that was the lead for St. Mary's again. 2 minutes now left in the first half on an absolutely beautiful night here at Ryan Field.
I don't know how that didn't go in.
Trey Ware made a heck of a foot save. And the ball put on the line. Minute 40 and ticking down. That's one of the better saves I think that you're going to see anybody make this season. Gavin Engel will help the WAPAKONETA Redskin, Gavin Ainsworth, to the ground. 6 fouls for the Rough Riders.
We heard somebody from the stands yell, "That's a card," but I didn't see it that way.
I think he just got a little too far into what he was trying to do. They've given away a little bit of a shove. That's probably one right there. A minute 5 now down into the corner for Charlie Krebs. Hopefully the cameras get us a good shot of that because I can't see on the corner of the windows. 55 seconds.
Again, somebody said Krebs was shoving him, but he really wasn't. He was just kind of stiff-arming him back. There really wasn't a whole lot of contact.
Keaton Lenhart with the throw-in. Down to the final 40 seconds. And who's it bigger for right now? I have an obvious answer, but if this goes into the half tied 0-0.
Gosh, that's a great question.
My answer would be Wapak because, again, they've been able to stave off 4 or 5 really good scoring chances by St. Mary's.
And that's what I would say, too. You know, for as little offense, little sustained offense that they've been able to put together, they're very lucky at 0-0.
Final 10 seconds. Hey, again, unofficially, I have WAPAKONETA for just 1 shot. And that came, I would say, right before Troglin's car. The ball kicked away on what could have been disaster before the half. We go into the halftime break 0-0 here in WAPAKONETA at Ryan Field. Big thanks for joining us here on NKTelco Sports, brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems.
Plygem Residential Solutions is part of Cornerstone Building Brands, North America's largest manufacturer of exterior building products, and the success of our company is directly related to the contributions of our employees. We are currently looking for machine operators, maintenance technicians, forklift operators, and more to join our growing team at our facility in Sydney, Ohio. Plygem offers competitive pay, a full benefits package, as well as opportunities for bonus pay and long-term advancement. Become a part of our strong foundation.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
At First
First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
At CAPT, we use Hometown Opportunity to make sure that when we have a position open within the facility, it gets put on the website.
We've really been excited to see how that has grown so much over the last several years.
If anyone is looking for a job, it's the best place to go.
We really want to do whatever we can to get folks that are from this community back to this area.
I would recommend any manufacturing company that they take a look at it. It's a very good benefit for companies at no cost.
Ready for the start of half number 2 here at Ryan Field in WAPAKONETA. Today's game brought to you by the fine folks at Grand Lake Health Systems. You see the score 0-0 on the scoreboard, and a reason why your team was able to put one of the goals. It's not hard to figure out. The halftime stats are a little bit telling. I don't know what they tell you necessarily. St. Mary's 14-1 unofficially in shots, 6-1 on goals. They had 2 really good looks. But the one number that does stand out is the 9 combined fouls, and that might have even undersold it. Dean, it's going to be an aggressive, interesting second half.
Well, Wapak came out aggressive, almost too aggressive to start things. And as we saw in the first half, they didn't get many opportunities. And as you look at those stats, the one stat that stood out most telling of any stat, 14-1 in terms of goals. And if you're Wapak, you're stopping and you go, whew. We survived. Now, it's only going to be a matter of time if they continue to play that way.
The wind is continuing to howl, mostly through the press box. Got a couple of times where it slammed the door shut here. Again, out of the south, about 14 miles an hour, it's 80 degrees. And they call it partly cloudy, but I haven't figured out where those clouds are yet. It is a beautiful day here.
There's some clouds, but not a lot.
Where I can see.
Mostly cloudy, which is what it would be. Mostly sunny, I would say.
And the first ball that's put in play for St. Mary's, you see how that one just kind of tipped away from them. Got caught up in the jet stream. St. Mary's, too, keep in mind, Spencer Troglow got a yellow in the first half. See how that plays. It's now Wapak with the first shot into the back of the net. Wow, right out of the gate at 39 at 35. He missed.
I was getting...
You missed it. I'm sorry. The angle that I was looking
at. It looked like it went in.
I thought that went in.
I was just getting ready to say, Wapak is going to come out trying to set the tone early. They're going to put on defensive pressure, and they're going to try to get things going, and they did.
I really honestly thought that went in. Caleb Place sold it so well as he now is going to hobble off.
So would you say it wasn't his place?
The back of the net wasn't. I didn't realize it hit the side. I was trying to watch the reaction from a couple of the players, but man, oh man, that's one big opportunity. Now as the Rough Riders with the worm burner in the front of the goal. And Dean said it in the first half, great defense from WAPAKONETA. Christian Mowry puts it across. It'll be a corner. That'll be 3 for the Rough Riders. The Winners Quality Meets Replay you see there. During that long line drive, again, defense headed back out by Mowry, and the ball caught on the fingertips.
He's had a lot of those little snags, a little toe save, a little fingertip, the bounce off the crossbar.
How about that one? Off the turn of the back heel. Goes the wrong way, but now you wait for the traffic to clear out. And you can see how different it is in the second half so far as Nelson tries to get rid of anything.
And I don't think that Wapak wasn't aggressive in the first half, but there is a decided difference in their intensity of aggression.
They definitely have been the aggressors through the first couple of minutes here. That's a kick coming from Austin Schulte. His left foot puts it out toward the box and right into the belly of the keeper. So again, if nothing else, Wapak has doubled up their shots of what they had in the entire first 40 minutes here in about 2.5.
It's significant time on their offensive side.
Throw in here for Wapak. Another throw looking to get Dylan Whitehead going. Ball back across the touchlines and another throw in. Oh, I'm sorry, they called the foul. It makes sense if you see how he got up hobbling. So I said aggressiveness is not going to be in a shortage here in the second half.
You know, you would have kind of suspected that shot from Wapak to wake up St. Mary's. And, you know, St. Mary's was still kind of not that there's anything wrong with how they're playing. It's just they're steady like they were in the first half.
I said the first 10 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the second half, that ball almost redirected. Austin Schulte tried to head it, it turned, and luckily for St. Mary's was not anywhere close enough to their goalkeeper to be a real threat. But so the first 10 minutes of the first half and about the first 5 or so minutes here in the second half might decide how this game goes. First 10 minutes went for St. Mary's in the contest earlier on. Now it's going for Wapak.
See right there, that's one of those things I'm talking about. The challenge on the kick away.
Two different guys with the meeting. Rough Riders try to go 2-on-6. So they've got a man if they can get to the cross of Vanderhorst. They were not able to get anywhere near him. As here again comes Max Milkey without kind of his running mate in Spencer Troglin, who I still have not seen since he caught his yellow at 32:57 in the first half. If he was back in there, I just have not watched him come through.
Well, what I saw is the conversation between he and his coach. I'm not surprised that he's not in the game because it was pretty demonstrative, if not heated.
It's kind of one of those things, big rivalry you talked about off the air during the halftime break. You asked, which would you view St. Mary's rival as in Salina or WAPAKONETA? I said it's really just kind of a dependency on who you ask, but the way this game is playing tonight, the obvious answer is Wapak. These two teams do not want to lose to one another.
Again, Wapak stepping up with every opportunity now. Completely different complexion of the game at this point.
Vanderhorst, the sophomore, with the lob and coming through to take it out of the air again.
And a nice job of clogging in front of the goal mouth.
Trey Ware has done a good job. He stopped 3 second half shots here.
So that brings 17 shots on goal.
Helps if I write it on the right paper. That'll be 7 of those that have come on goal, but you're right, 17 total shots, and St. Mary's is still far ahead in that category. A couple of fouls. And again, it's not anything that's dirty or anything close. It's just kind of rough physical play. It's too far down the line for St. Mary's. So the ball kicked back towards midfield into the sunshine. Rough Riders will make a substitution. How do you like me now? Here's the sub. Spencer Troglin comes in at 33:57. So he sat for nearly 40 minutes. If you include halftime, he's been out there close to an hour now where he's been sitting down.
Do you think that his coach was trying to make a point?
The better question is, did his coach make the point?
Thank you.
Because we'll find out in the next couple of minutes. He's an aggressive kid now as he works down the right sideline. Sends one back into the box and kicked away by the WAPAKONETA Redskins defense. Oh, Francis able to come up and keep it in play for St. Mary's. Another ball high off the right foot. Rough Riders work to try to spread out that red curtain in front of them. Didn't turn out this time as the defense continues to do a good job.
Great pursuit.
Stolen away by the returning captain and Andy Vogel. Got to know that you've got a good young man as a senior and as a leader for this older team for St. Mary's, guys who have been in this lineup for a while, when you've got a 2-year captain. You put that much faith in a junior, he's doing something right.
Now things are starting to change for St. Mary's. What we're seeing is they're forcing Wapak to make plays. They're going to have to step up and make plays. They're doing that. And as they do that, St. Mary's is right there in the middle of them.
Troglan again got a warning, and I think, I don't know when Braden Schlenker's birthday is, but he just asked for a present on another card. He was denied. So no cake for him and no card for Troglan. That one might have been a little blatant. Evan Menker with the hands straight out, and I always figure that one is the one that I would think is obvious when you completely extend your arms and the player goes the other way. Speeding his way, speaking of, Dylan Whitehead on the run. Great right-handed save just to go low and stop the rush. That might be St. Mary's save of the game right there.
I would agree. Whitehead freewheeling down there and was virtually at point blank.
Wait till we get a second to show you the replay of this one, because that is terrific with a player to his right coming by. If he does not put the big paw on that, it is 1-0 Wapak.
Now let me come back to what I was saying to you before. St. Mary's is forcing plays where Wapak has to make a step up and make those plays. They're doing that. Here's the replay.
Get a chance of this winners meets replay. Watch, you've got to make a decision and just able to get the hand down. And that was running by Colin Lenhart. He was going to either kick him right in the face or put his foot on that ball, and he was able to pull back. So the first 10 minutes gone now with no score here in the second half.
That's the chess match that's in the game, when you have to make plays that you're not necessarily comfortable, and then they develop into other things.
In this game last year in St. Mary's, a 3-2 win for the Rough Riders. But both teams lost a lot. Wapak lost 5 different seniors who were a part of the All-Western Buckeye League team. They go 3 teams in honorable mention. They lost Luke Beach, a first-team pick. Rough Riders losing a couple of all-time players on their list as they try to kind of change. They're not younger in terms of class, but maybe in terms of play. A couple of kids who played indoor in the Dayton area get some extra bounces during the likely turf season. As the ball I was waiting to see if the where they will place this at, because Vogel got knocked down. See, now we'll put it into the air under 30 minutes and right into the belly again. So Rough Riders with nearly 20 shots already. Surprised that wasn't a handball. I don't normally agree with a lot of the crowd, but that one definitely caught Justin Grannon kind of off base. I think it was more he was trying to get his hands out of his face, not to get kicked in the face than anything. A lot of those inadvertent ones in soccer, the way it plays out. The turn, Max Milkey across the touchline. WAPAKONETA throw in a pair of subs. Charlie Krebs into the game for the Rough Riders. Danielle Prito into the game for Wapak. They tried to make another quick sub, but they weren't able to get that one in. Throw in here for St. Mary's. 28 minutes left. And this could go a long way to sort of decide about how the WBL will shape out this year. A lot of people, again, the repeating champs, and Kenton as a favorite. Both teams go to Kenton. Sorry, both teams play Kenton. Wapak plays them here on September 16th. St. Mary's goes there on the 19th. So how about that? If you're Kenton, you're paying a lot of attention to this matchup, Dean, because it's only about 3 weeks, now almost 2 weeks, before you see these two teams. And they each go through 3 or 4 games, they could be much different as you get a look at the replay there. Much different teams going through this kind of meat grinder early on in the season.
Tell you what, it can only make you better.
It's the hope anyways. Again, the Rough Riders go 2 games in 3 days at OG and at Sydney. And there are 2 places that could not be more different, because those 2 places, grass at OG on their practice field next to their high school field in Glandorf, which is unavailable this year. They're resodding it. And then the turf at Sydney.
Okay,
those 2 games are going to play way different.
Let me stop you there. How does that happen, that you don't have it available for the season?
Last year it rained and a lot of the clay and the tile came up from underneath. It was unplayable. There was a fungus that was eating the field, if I remember right.
So it's one of those we got to do it things.
Yeah, and they decided late in the spring they were going to go ahead and resod it and let it sit during the fall, use the practice field, and then next year they'll have one of the nicer grass fields in the area.
To bite the bullet.
Got to do it sometime. So now the goal kick for Wapak. 26 minutes and change left in this one.
The sports writer in me seems to think that there is something that's going to develop.
Here you go. Tobin on the run. Front of the box. Up and again. Climbing the net. That's the second time that he has had what looked like it might be the first goal of this game taken away by Trey Ware, or influenced by Ware enough that it went off the top of the goal.
As I was saying, the sports writer in me is starting to think there is something that's going to develop with Croglan down late, just the way the storylines build up today.
There's something developing right now, because the goalkeeper for St. Mary's is down after what looked like an inadvertent shot just on the run, as you see the replay. Here's the replay.
He's double over for sure.
That's a goal attempt for St. Mary's. He's able to get back up. Immediately, though, a teammate came over to point out, hey, you need to come look at this guy. A little worse for Ware, but Corey Nelson able to get back up. Let's get another look at that goal opportunity here. Just right through 5 defenders. And a great save by Trey Ware to keep this scoreless here for Wapak. Vogel all the advantage now, left to right for the Rough Riders. He's got every accessory you can get. Wristbands, headband, long hair flapping in the wind.
Not the fluorescent shoes, though.
No. Yeah, that's the one thing. He went with the tame shoes. So Rough Riders with their second corner kick of the half, 4th of the contest. See a shot of the scoreboard there in the background. St. Mary's will make the substitution to bring in Gavin Engel, the senior. And out will go Max Milkey. He does not seem happy about it. Vogel with the left hand and the finger wagging back and forth. He's ready to go. Kicked it right at the defender, right off his head. Christian Mowry again. We talked about defensive players and their impact on this game. He has been one. Was not a starter for today for Wapak, but has played starters minutes. A lot of it due to his production. Grant Hackworth from the right side. Ball just footed right back to the Rough Riders. Oh, on the lead. Great breakaway right through the middle for Tobin, but he is stopped by a pair of red and white jerseys. Down to the grass goes Steininger for St. Mary's. Everybody's always, they're always down until the ball comes right back to them. Then they pop back up and are ready to go. He had 2 opportunities that way. It's the ball, Grant Hackworth, he could call for a handball. Worst part about that, just takes that extra hop sometimes. So the Rough Riders will set it down with 23-22. And they'll stop the clock outside of 23 minutes. I didn't see what the stoppage was about. Wapak makes a sub to bring in Graham Kinnear. So St. Mary's able to keep their goalkeeper back there. Ball run for Adam Tobin. Tobin with that ball right on the back line. Long lead out in front, Wapak. And again, this one will go against them, but two guys who just trying to fight their way down the pitch and get an advantage. It's kind of a meeting of the mind sort of thing. Volleyball going on between these two teams as well right now, so it's an all St. Mary's WAPAKONETA day. First set went way in favor of the Rough Riders. I think it's most amazing about that, they had 10 aces in the first set. Coming up on 2 minutes now, 22 minutes rather. It's Caleb Place back in. He made an immediate impact when this game got started in the second half. Took a ball and jetted down the left side. Just missed off to the right. Otherwise, it'd be 1-0 Wapak. And you know, it's crazy. I actually saw a game last week. It was a girls' game at Spencerville with Miller City to open up their new turf at Memorial Field. And it came down. It was a game similar to this. A lot of bounces, good defense, and the sweepers were able to do their job like Dean's talked about a couple times. It got to 2 minutes to go, and the one mistake, one extra hop, turned into a goal for Spencerville. Not saying it'll happen either way in this game, but it has that feeling. Kind of a small mistake mount up thing. All to the goal line, chased by Andrew Ibrahim.
I wouldn't say that this has been a perfect game by any stretch, but I would say that there has been some fantastic saves, and there's been some fantastic defense overall.
Yeah, the highlight reel at the end of this one's going to be pretty good. Get to see how this game has come together. There's a yellow card, a handful of fouls, but really nothing bad.
I think you would agree with me that soccer is one of those few sports that haven't been offensized, meaning you don't try to make it artificially more interesting by adding more offense to it.
That's a trip. Will send Vogel down to get a mouthful of grass. That was when he got up in the air, and it was kind of going for the ball. But yeah, I agree. And thankfully, it kind of helps out itself.
Let's see what happens here as you get a set play, one of those rare opportunities to get something that you run in the game. I mean, one of those things you run in practice in the game.
Vogel will put it in play with the right foot, sent out to the middle of the box, looking for the header back toward the front, but again, kicked out by the WAPAKONETA defense. And who is it again? Christian Mowry. Mowry, one of Wapak's leaders here on the turn. A shot on goal for the Rough Riders. That is their 11th unofficially. That shot, I believe, came from Herdenstein. Rough Riders right back to the offensive side as Engel sends one down for Vogel. On the quick cross. Wow, check out the foot motion. I got lost just watching him play with the ball with the right foot.
A little juke and jive.
Here come again, Herdenstein across the middle. Again, what you could say, corn silk hair.
Yes.
We're talking about it with another young man in Charlie Krebs, but it works here too. It's in fashion right now. Vogel sets it out on the run. Here comes the difference maker in Troglin. And he ran right into Peyton DeBell and lost his footing. All across the touchline should be St. Mary's throw-in. Rough Riders will bring back in Grannon to the lineup. Make another substitution as soon as he turns around. It's always the best way when guys come in across the way. They think it's Cameron Pope, the sophomore. The ball redirected. And another shot there. I'll say it's Kyle Steininger back into the game. I trust them. 18 minutes left in this second half. Still nothing. Now, at what point right now, Dean, do you get kind of hyper-aggressive and try to maybe pressure a little bit more, or just stay with your game plan until?
That's a great question. I think it's probably still too early right now. I would have to think maybe 7 minutes in. But again, you have to think that instinctively, when they see the opportunity, they're going to gun it. But it's not like there hasn't been some opportunity.
Another throw to the front half of the box. Hey, we'll do the read at the next dead ball. 3 subs waiting to come up for Wapak, and that kind of begins that pressure of how you use your subs, how do you get your main guys the rest. Maybe you're setting up too for what I was just asking you about that segment where you start to bring that pressure, get those guys 2 or 3 minutes, a little bit of water and a little bit of rest.
Maybe do some line shifts like it would be in hockey.
Right. Well, they nearly did that for Wapak. Big thanks to our presenting sponsor for today in Grand Lake Health System for helping us bring you high school soccer. Also, American Trim are our starting lineup sponsors. First National Bank, our scoreboard sponsor, who reminds you to think first. A replay sponsor for today, Winners Meats, along with NKTelco and Frost Roofing. Hometown Opportunity, along with the Minster Bank and Apply Gem. Precision Strip, Schwederman Pharmacy, and New Knoxville Supply. All of our fine sponsors helping to bring you coverage of high school soccer today. And you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day to get these games in the end of the month of August. Each team won't play again for nearly a week. Wapak will go to Van Wert on that trip to Glandorf to take on the Titans for St. Mary's. It's pretty much OG and St. Mary's next week too, because the girls soccer team plays on Tuesday, the volleyball teams play each other, St. Mary's and OG on Thursday. It's nice, and then of course, week 2 of high school football features Wapak and St. Mary's.
It's kind of like rivalry week.
The OG game is in week 3 in Ottawa. So Wapak takes a lot of time here to set up what they want to do. So on the loft front of the goal, and that ball just continued to sail, I think, a little bit more than what Wapak would have liked. They have 3 shots here in the second half, by the way, and you can make a case that all 3 of them have come on goal. That's an easy foul. Gavin Engel with that right hand just reached out and shoved the guy in front of him to the ground.
Michael, it seems like there are more players on the field than there were in the first half. Maybe just because they're so compressed, maybe because it's more evenly spread between both sides of the field this time, but it just seems like there's double the players that were there.
I think you could probably make that case to both coaches that each team is using too many players, and they would say, yes, that's exactly right. Another ball just kind of harmlessly rolled through.
And you're seeing St. Mary's, those white jerseys forming a wall against that offense. We didn't see that quite so much earlier.
That ball was in the air, and it was a knuckleball out to Gavin Engel. It's now Gavin Leininger, the senior, with the ball for the first time. Great lead out to the left side, pulled the keeper out of the way, and on the shot he's going to cross over, but the defense again, Keaton Lenhart. If Trey Ware doesn't get him an iTunes gift card, then something's wrong.
Whatever team wins today will be thanking their lucky stars. Whatever team loses will say, we squandered so many opportunities.
And again, it's been a well-played game on both sides, just not able to get a ball through as Milky and Adam Tobin come in. And here's maybe where St. Mary's goes on their run off their 5th corner kick. Those are 2 big legs and 2 big scorers.
When's the last time you've seen a goaltender come out like that and really, really have a scary moment where he can't get back in time?
I don't know, but you've got to be pretty confident as the ensuing kick just right into the hands of the keeper. Unofficially, St. Mary's with 21 shots, 12 on goal.
Now, you're going to laugh at me as I say this, but in baseball, you get a no-hitter going or a perfect game, and crazy things start to happen. This has that type of feel.
Again, all those little details start to mount up. They give the foul to Milky. He had the hands out, and I think maybe he learned a lesson, though, earlier with Spencer Troglin about how these officials are not going to take their arguments. And he just eventually walked away, which is a smart thing on his part. But Lenhart, with perhaps the defensive play of the game that does not come from a goalkeeper. As the players continue to check on one another. The weird thing is, nobody really went near this foul on Max Milky. That might be a little frustration from the other end.
I agree.
But fine if you're not going to call that. Again, I'm not saying he did anything on purpose, just kind of a build-up. Two guys, including Max, in front. Ball headed back out near the front of the box. Right back to where the offense started for Graham Kinnear. Graham now. Great lead, but just too far, and the goalkeeper makes a point-blank shot. That ball in the air. 2 shots for Wapak. And that's, you said earlier on, when do you see a keeper on the other side make that stop where he comes out and puts himself in peril? That exactly happens right here for Corey Nelson, but he's able to have one nearly kicked off his face.
A pitcher's duel, but it's a goalie's duel tonight.
That'll make a fascinating replay as he puts one back in play. Because that happened so quick, he was going to have to make that in traffic, and not only that, the redirect has to be perfect for him to get it back out. Ball shot right down to the keeper and Trey Ware again.
As effective as St. Mary's was in the first half with their defenders, Wapak has done that in the second half, limiting any real scoring opportunity in the second half.
Dylan Whitehead with a great keep. Now on the foot, sent to the front half of the box, up off the chest of Charlie Krebs. Show you that replay coming up here in a second that I was talking about. And again, it's about chances. Somebody's got to make a mistake, you would think, for a goal to happen here. Just the way that this has gone, both keepers in a span of really less than about a minute made where this could easily be 1-0 either way or a 1-1 game. Run again for Graham Kinnear, trying to get around the corner. On a play down in front now, just outside of 10 minutes. They developed in a fight with Spencer Troglin. Both of them shoving off one way or the other. And again, you'll never make everybody happy. So, a lot of shove now as you look at the scoreboard. If you come in as a sub, and the goalkeeper will chase it out into the box, redirected. And that was up off the knee, a little higher than the shin guard. And out across the touchline, it's Caleb Place. Here's the Winners Quality Meets replay. Look at the slide. Now you've realized, oh, this better be me. Misses with the chip shot. Does Whitehead off the pressure, though. You're not going to have a 6-foot guy coming running at you like that very many times like that. Off 2 heads, more of down around the face. Rough Riders under 9:30 to go now. Able to clear it out with the Ninja Turtle Bright Green kit from Justin Grannon. Another lazy ball ran through, and everybody forgot one thing, to try to stop Max Milky. Looking for Wapak. Another long boot. It's got to be the worst thing, too, as a defender. If you're Charlie Krebs, you try to head that out of the way. You miss it by, I don't know, 5 yards.
What we're seeing Ware do in the goal for Wapak is he is not taking any chances, because he knows at this point in the game you have got to respect the ball.
Well, and again, the last chance that he took about 5 minutes ago nearly resulted in his team being down 1-0. He was able to to come through that, but kind of an unscathed thing.
What's the shot on goals now against Wapak?
Again, unofficially, I have it as 12-5.
And total shots?
23-6.
Wow.
I saw a game, I forget what it was, I think it was the Coldwater Girls, if I remember right, one of their games early in the year. They outshot their opponent 44-1. That was something. 7.5 minutes now to go in this contest, and all those little things continue to mount up. This is about the time where I asked Dean, when do you start to go on that run? Maybe push a little bit more than you have, and this has been played at times at a pretty breakneck pace. But he said about 7 minutes. See how each team decides to play the final 7-10. Tell you what, the one thing you can count on is there are a lot of kids in this game that are going to sleep all tonight because they have been everywhere on this pitch. Another goal kick. That one sails. Takes another bounce. One red jersey in between 3 white ones. It was Colin Lenhart trying to make the most out of it. Back on the other side now for Vogel, who slips and falls as Braden Schlenker runs by. Vogel's jersey is going to have quite a bit of usage for some Tide. White jerseys and a lot of grass stains. Charlie Krebs shoots one up front, 6:15 now. Clock continues to tick, and somebody wants to come away with a win. Wapak has gotten WBL play the last 7 years. Just a lot of ties. They went 6-3 a year ago, lost in the playoffs in the opening round to Toledo Whitmer. Lost 14 players from a year ago, 12 to graduation, 2 because they were foreign exchange students. Not very often you get to say that. Going up on 5.5 minutes after the changes to throw right in front of what I call the bus stop for St. Mary's. The red jerseys are winning the fight, and you can't really call anything because it's shoving on both sides. Continue on the fight. Adam Tobin up in front. Big shot, missed wide left for Spencer Troglin.
I think if the discussion was made, they would say to Spencer Troglin, you got to take that shot with more intensity, with more intentionality.
I think, again, the hardest thing about it is the way that it was passed from his left was to try to kick it straight while it was still spinning sideways. There was a lot of boot on the previous play. As Ibrahim able to take it right back for St. Mary's. One thing that's going to be hard to do, this game ends 0-0, pick a player of the game.
Early on, I would have said it was Krebs.
There's a lot of times where if a ball had bounced one way or the other, it could be about 6 guys right now. And there's still that time, 4.5 minutes to go.
Probably the case to be made for either goaltender, the strongest case.
Yeah, you can definitely make that. As on the lead, here's Milky with a big cross to the left. Defense got right in front of him.
That set up so well. Give credit to the Redskins for coming in and getting that out of there.
That had to feel like it was slow motion. It's now 4 minutes and 8 seconds left for St. Mary's. They continue to weave through traffic, but Steininger can't get anywhere. Noah Francis will try. Back in after starting this contest. Out of that high kick for Charlie Krebs.
The good thing for St. Mary's, they're keeping the ball on this side of the field, and it's just simply a case of, you said before, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
So get a throw in. No sub upcoming despite the fact that Wapak's got some guys stirring over there. 3.5 minutes ago, Ibrahim heads it right back into the WAPAKONETA sky. This is big because if Caleb Place is able to get to this, he's arguing the ball should have gone the other way. Rough Riders work quickly and take the throw in. Milky now fighting against Peyton DeBell. DeBell wins that one and back towards midfield. Almost exactly 3 minutes.
It's all about battling for the ball right now.
St. Mary's with the advantage. Floater into the box, rolls through Milky, ran over the goalkeeper. Abraham redirected and just that close to it being a 1-1 game or a 1-0 game. Wow. Can't wait to see the replay on that one.
Again, clean living or something.
That is, Milky ran directly into Trey Ware, and it's a long road to get from here to there. Rough Riders with a corner. As they loft back to the box, header, well, that foot went the wrong way. Rough Riders would have liked for that to stay in the box. Everything moving the wrong way at 2.5 minutes. They throw in coming for Wapak. Here you see the winners meets replay. Watch this ball. Missed on the header, played through just enough for Milky, who, when it turned, Abraham, right foot, 2 redirections, and off the outside of the post.
Again, just the right spot on the post that fades in.
That is at least 3 in this game where you can make a case, a strong case, again, about it being 1-0 one way or the other. See, ball stolen away from Daniel Preto. Penalty against the Rough Riders, their 11th foul. Again, unofficial numbers. Minute 50 to go. Streaking down the middle, Peyton DeBell, arms wide open, saying, could someone get me the ball? Wind is with Wapak, sun into the face. It's behind the back of the keeper as the left foot headed back out by the St. Mary's defense. They now look to go on their own run in a minute 25. They're gonna go to Adam Tobin. He's been an aggressive force for St. Mary's from the outside of the box, just too long on his own lead. And a ball they're gonna have to send someone to go get. Thankfully, they've got a handful of them. Throw in for St. Mary's at a minute 5. Tobin with the header, back to him off of his head. And it's now go time. 1 minute to go in this second half. 3 guys give chase in the slide. Trey Ware, he got a little pat on the back from Max Milky on the way down too. He just kind of said, hey man, good job, you beat me to that one. 40 seconds left.
An amazing game, to say the least.
And look at how this has come to be. Right now, though, 30 seconds left as the Rough Riders work towards Milky. Off of the right side, playing a one-on-one game. Tried to shoot back to the middle. At first, there was nobody there. Up on the turn, the front half of the box. 20 seconds now to go. 5 red jerseys, and nobody's cleared it. That's crazy. Kyle Steininger had 3 chances. As the ball shot down with 10 seconds. Rough Riders put a boot into it, and that looks like that will be that. We went to halftime at 0-0. We go to full time at 0-0. Both teams pick up a tie. It's tie number 2 for St. Mary's. And a set of stats coming up. Today's game brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems, right here on NKTelco Sports.
My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and WAPAKONETA to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
Hey Minster, this is Nate Henry with NKTelco, and we're here for you for your existing cable TV, internet, and phone service.
Hey Botkins, I'm Brett Gerstner with NKTelco, and we are here for you and to help you operate your business network.
Hey Maria Stein, I'm Ken with NKTelco, and we are here for you with Hometown Pride.
Hi Rishi, I'm Tim Metzger, and we are here for you for your installation of your telephone, cable TV, and internet.
Contact NKTelco at 1-888-NKTelco.
At Joint Township District Memorial Hospital, your comfort and care is our #1 priority. Our surgical nerve blocks are a great way to reduce pain and can be used for arm, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, and foot surgeries. The nerve blocks decrease the stress of surgery on your body, requires less anesthesia and pain medications, and in many cases can offer relief for several days. Visit grandlakehealth.org for details on all of our services.
Back final time here at Ryan Field in WAPAKONETA, 0-0. How today's contest ends. Big thanks to our sponsor, Grand Lake Health Systems, for helping us bring you this contest. Both teams had opportunities to get this one done, but the game stats will take quite an interesting look at how this goes. And again, super unofficial micron stats. You see the 2 goose eggs there in the scoring column. 26-6 in shots for St. Mary's, half of those coming on goal. Efficiency in terms of shots on goal for WAPAKONETA, they get 5 out of their 6. 6 corner kicks for St. Mary's. They had opportunities in the last couple of minutes. Fouls, about 2-1. I really think you could make that case either way, but a lot of people thought maybe both numbers should have been higher. Relatively clean play game, just little minuscule mistakes on both sides.
And of course, when you look at that number, 26 shots, you have to think with that type of number, you're going to get 2 goals. And we had 3 surefire stops that should have been goals.
One right off the post, one off each goalkeeper's hand, and that leads us to tonight's NKTelco Player of the Game. We thought about this for a while. We talked about it during the break, but you see Trey Ware for WAPAKONETA, the goalkeeper. 13 saves in this game. You see him right there wearing the black 0. He made a lot of choices later on, and you talked about how you have to limit your opportunities where you go out of the goal and how you're going to do it. He was able to make good choices. He got away with one too, though.
No question.
We'll see exactly how that'll go the rest of the season. Both teams get Kenton again. Wapak will get them here. It'll be on the road for St. Mary's, but you play this kind of game, you just got to hope your shots go in.
A classic pitcher's duel today, but done with the goaltenders that whatever was thrown at the other one, they were able to stop it. Great defensive battle. And, you know, a pretty good game for this early in the season. Perhaps one of the best soccer games I've seen in a long time.
Today's game brought to you by Grand Lake Health System, along with American Trim, First National Bank, Winners Meats, NKTelco, and Frost Roofing. Hometown Opportunity, along with the Minster Bank and Plygem, Precision Strip, Schwiedemann Pharmacy, and New Knoxville Supply. Our keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza, our Winners Meats Quality Replays, and our First National Bank scoreboard 0-0 here in the Western Buckeye League opener for both of these teams for our entire staff here, and our director in Scott Robinson, our cameraman in Kurt Kuffner and Jim Miller, and Dean Jackson. I'm Mike Kern. Have a great night from all of us here in Wapak on NKTelco Sports.